And so part of what I'm kind of curious about is sometimes people have almost an addiction to productivity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because
and optimization, 100%.
Because they have learned the price of not doing that. And so even then the addiction becomes almost an avoidance of some past thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not hearing that you're trying to avoid anything.
I wonder if there's something I'm trying to avoid.
Like, was there ever like a moment in your life, kind of speaking of anime, right, where like as a protagonist you were like, never again, I'm going to change and I'm going to attain my second level, my second tier of power level or whatever, and I'm going to become Connor 2.0? And it may not be a huge moment. It may be like a small moment where you know, because I don't think it started in Japan. I think it grew in Japan. You're right. But it sounds like you had some aversion to laziness before that. Like this was the chance for you to no longer be who you were.
Yeah. I think there was towards my, because I lived in London for 2 years before I moved to Japan. And I think towards the end of that period, I really felt kind of, there was no big event or anything, but I just started feeling unhappy with a lot of my life circumstance at the time. I was overweight at the time. I was overweight, and I was at like a physical shape that I wasn't happy with because I was always very active, and I was always just very, very sporty growing up, and I felt like I'd kind of let that part of my life go, going into being like age like 22, 23, when obviously your metabolism starts to slow down. You start to realize all that pizza and the beer catches up to you. And I think I was also just unhappy with where I was creatively at the time as well. And I think it was kind of an accumulation of things that kind of, I was just unhappy with a lot of things. And then I started really trying to get back into shape. And then around the same time is when I got this offer to move to Japan. And then I think that's all around this time is where I think that I just completely changed the type of content I was making. I started changing how I was eating. I started changing how much I was exercising. And there's no definitive. That mug is so good.
What? Oh,
the #1 dad mug. That's comically large.
My kids got it for me.
No, that's the sweetest thing ever. I think there was just a general unhappiness with a bunch of different things, and I think as I started, I think definitely the catalyst was when I started working out more and losing weight, and eating healthier, is when I really started to. I think I just felt better in general, and then that led to a bunch of other changes that just kind of cascaded, I felt.
Makes a lot of sense, man. Sounds like you really reinvented yourself. You decided that you wanted your life to be a different thing, and you moved towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I looking back now, I didn't appreciate this when I was in school or when I was in university, but I think I at the time I was just miserable. Like I couldn't recognize that at the time. And I don't know why that was, but this is probably where the gaming kind of came in, where it was me sinking 12 hours a day into gaming.
What were you miserable about? What made you
I don't know, honestly, which is kind of what, when I was growing up after the fact, it was the one big thing that I was really confused about, is that I don't understand why I was sad or why I was kind of upset at my general life when I felt that everything was going a direction. Maybe not the direction I wanted, but it was the standard direction that I think most people would be happy with. But I also didn't know what direction I wanted either. So I think it's just so tough to figure this stuff out when you're a kid.
Absolutely.
You know, I got good grades. I was okay in school. I never caused much trouble. And then I, did the engineering. And obviously everyone's like, oh, engineering, that's great. Yeah, your life will be fine. And you're just kind of like, okay, I guess I'll just keep doing it because everyone else tells me around me that's a good idea. But all I wanted to do was play games at the time.